there are 9 people in my family. They are my father, my mother, and my 3 brothers, and 1 sister, and my wife, and a lovely daughter. And of course, includes me. Okay, we have very, very nice family, or we have very, happy family. Okay, demek endi mao beni to'g'rilik shunami? Endi bishara javob berganda javobimiz there are mancha odam, shunami? There are 9 people in my family. There are 7 people in my family. Desak bo'ladi. Ular bo'lsa they are my mother, my father, blah 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 blah. So, what about you? How many people are there in your family? And who are they? And so ular qayslar? Tabiqmi? Kimlar? How many? Okay, 7 or 5. Who are they? Like your father, mother, blah 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 blah. Good. So, next question, where do you live? So, where do you live? Okay, where do you live? And an added process. Maybe you can answer, I live in Kashgar. Maybe I live in, live at 87 King Street. Okay. Which are live deganimiz bir joyda uzoq mezgil turgan bo'lsanglar, shuni live deymiz. I live at 87 King Street. I live at 87 King Street. Men 87 nomerlik nima? Padişah ko'chasida turman. Padişah ko'chasida turman. Demak, hamda live deganimiz nima? Desanlar, turmoq, yashamoq, shunami? And the next question, what does your father do? What does your father do? Hamsa, undaqda dadangiz nima ish qiladi? For example, my father is a businessman. Mening dadam bo'lsa bir savdogar. Misharik savdogar deganda businessman deymiz. Undaqda biz ilgari nurg'un kasblarning ismlarini o'tgan shunama. Masalan, engineer, okay, doctor, onun degan policeman, taxi driver, shunama, onun degan nima? Milkman, postman, right? Air hostess, masalan, ayollarniki, nurse, degandaka, like, and also keyboard operators, degandaka. Nurg'un hamda kasblarni o'rgangan shunama. Maybe you can say, my father is a teacher. Mening dadam bo'lsa bir o'qituvchi. So what about your mother? What does your mother do? What does your mother do? Can you answer? You can say, my mother is a teacher. Apam bolsa bir o'qituvchi. Shunami? Or my mother is a manager. Bir direktor bo'lsa deb javob berishingiz mumkin. Shunami? Demak, hamda bu savollarga javob beringlar. What does your mother do? What about your father? Okay, good. So, when does your mother or father go to work? When does your mother and father go to work? Maybe most of you answer, well, my father go to work at 8 o'clock, or 7 o'clock, or 7:30, right? And in the morning, right? So when do you go to school? What about you? When do you go to school? When do you go to school? And siz maktabga qachon borasiz? When? Okay. So look, first question. First question is, what do you usually do in the morning? What do you usually do in the morning? What do you usually do in the morning? Siz odatda nima ish qilasiz? So first, usually. Usually deganimiz nima desanglar? Odatda. Usually. So what do you usually do in the morning? Odatda degan nima ish qilasiz? Maybe you can say, I usually eat breakfast in the morning. Nima? Or men odatda maktabga bormaydi desangchi, nimiz? I usually go to school in the morning. Right? I usually go to school in the morning. Yaxshi. Hamda yarachu men odatda qanday qildingiz bor. Masalan, I usually shave in the morning. Yoki odatda nima? Men odatda saqalimni olaman. So what do you usually do? What do you usually do? Answer me. What do you usually do? Okay, nice. Good. And when do you usually have lunch? Okay. When do you usually have lunch? Okay, Michelle, lunch. So when do you usually have lunch? You know, for me, I usually have lunch at 1 o'clock. I usually have lunch at 1 o'clock. Men odatda soat 1da qanday qilaman? Tushlik tomoq yeyman. Misharga lunch degan tushlik tomoq, have deganimiz shu bor deganga mana bu yerga ko'chmaymiz. Nima desanglar? Yemak. Have lunch, tushlik tomoq yemak. Have breakfast, nashta qilmoq. So, what do you usually do in the evening? Amsa odatda kechda nima ish qilasiz? Okay. What do you usually do in the evening? Endi bu evening degan vaqt vallahi shu 4:30dan tortib soat 9:10 gacha bo'lgan mush bo'lak vaqtni, demakchi qap-qarang'i tushib ketkichi bo'lgan arliqni evening deymiz. Okay, what do you usually do in the evening? Maybe I usually do my homework. Men odatda topshiriqimni ishlayman. Shunaqa? Yana nima ish qilsan? What do you usually do? Okay, maybe I watch a Korean TV show or a Korean TV program or TV series. Men Korean gidolarni ko'raman. Watch TV, right? I usually watch TV in the evening. Maybe most of you do homework. What do you usually do in the evening? Okay, I study. I usually study in the evening. What about next? So, when do you usually go to bed at night? When do you usually go to bed? Endi go to bed deganda qachon uxlaysiz? Demakchi, karavot qachon borasiz degan gap. Endi shu uxlatga tayyorlik qilib uxlashga berish nima? Night. Bu night degan kecha vaqti shu. Shu 9-10 dan keyin shu uxlaydigan vaqtni nima deymiz? Night deymiz. Bu nima? At night. At night. At night. At night. So, these are the questions. Look, there are more words. And bir yere bir necha yangi so'zlar bor, savollar. Qarab boqaylik. Qarab boqsak, Mrs. Sawyer stays at home every day. She does the housework. And the Sawyer xonim har kuni uyda turdi ekan. Uyda turdi ekan yoki uyda turdi ekan. Shunami? Ana stay deganimiz ham qisqa mazgillik bilan turmoq. Shunami? She stays at home every day. U odatda har kuni uyda turdi ekan. She does the housework. Ana misharaka stay deganimiz nima desanglar? Nima desanglar? Bir yerga qanday qilmoq? Turmoq. Bir yerga ko'chib ketmaslik degan. Okay. Masalan, stay at home, uyda turmoq. Stay at a hotel, nerede turmoq? Bir mehmonxonada turmoq. Stay at a hotel, bir mehmonxonada yoki mehmonsaroyda turmoq. Tushunami? Okay, stay at home. Endi bu yerga home degan nima? Housework degan bir gap bor. Okay, housework. Housework deganimiz nima? Uy ishlari. Endi bu yerga homework bilan houseworkniki ikkisiniki qanday desanglar, azroq farq bor. Endi bu yerga home bilan housening farqini chiqarsak bo'ladi, bolalar. Home degan nima? Uy. Bu nima desanglar, qo'limizdagi abstraktni ufqumdagi uy bir oildan derak birdi. Masalan, bizning Uyg'ur tilimizdan bog'i, Balam seni bir o'ylab qo'ysam. Shu bolalar cho'ng bo'lib qolganda deydi-da. Hamda bu o'ylab qo'ysam degani hargizmi. Balam shu o'yining basi tushibdi. Sana bir yurish o'ydan birini ep-rep shu chiqib qo'yay degan gap emas. Bu nima degan gap? Sana bir xotin epsam. Sening bir 5 ming o'shab qo'y to'y qilib qo'ysam degan gap. Shu o'ylab qo'yish o'y degani esamda nima? Bir oylik qilib qo'ysam degan gap. Shu bizningki yengimizdagi o'y qanday desanglar, aniq abstraktni o'y. Endi bu yerga house degan cho'y desanglar, menda 4 dona temi va to'g'risi va mana nima deymiz? House deymiz. House deganda nima? Pul setib olgani bo'ldi bolalar. Ondan keyin hamda mush xomchim, mo'lim to'y qilsin pul ketadi. Bu pul bo'lsam to'y qilgan bo'lamdi. Shunami? Shunga ma'nonga birlikda qaldimizda ufqom ham home degan. Shu 12 janub shimol taraf bo'lmaydi. Shunga mayaga demaymiz, shu go home ham deymiz. Shunami? Go home uyga berish. Shunami? Go home hargiz go to home deb olmaymiz. Go home. Shunga homework uyda ishlaydigan topshiriq. Shunami? Ayol topshiriq qilaymiz-ku. Ana housework-chi uy ishlari. Shu uyninki supurish, tobalash, tamoq etish, o boshli nima? Housework. Housework. Endi uyda o'tiradigan ayol bo'lsa-chi, housewife. Okay, housewife. Bu nima desanglar? Shu uy ayoli, yoki uyda o'tiradigan ayol bo'lsa, housewife deymiz. Endi housework bo'lsa, masalan, do the housework. Uy ishlarini qilmoq. Endi topshiriq ishlamak bo'lsa-chi, do the homework. Uni do the homework. Do the homework. Good. So, what are the 3 ladies doing? Hey, what are the 3 ladies doing? And bu ayol nima ish qilyapti? What are these 3 ladies doing? And bu ayollar nima ish qilyapti bolalar? What are they doing? You know, they are having coffee together. Okay, ular nima ish qilyapti? Birlikda qahva ichayotganmi ya'ni, shunami? They are having coffee together. And the misharika together deganimiz nima bilan birlikda. Masalan, go to school together, birlikda qana qilmoq, maktabga bormoq, drink coffee together, birlikda qahva ichmak. Amsa birlikda so'zmak bo'lsa, swim together, shunami? Masalan, study English together, okay? Birlikda qana qilmoq, ingliz tili o'rganmak. And then they often drink tea together. Ular odatda birlikda choy ichadi. Choy ichadi. Okay. Next one is arrive. Okay, arrive. And the manji qala arrive. Arrive. Oh no. Hargiz men aklab o'qimaysiz. Arrive desa bo'lmaydi buni. Arrive. Bir intonasiyasi bor buni. Nima birinchi harf nima? Qarasanglar ekan shunami? Qaranglar bu odatda sizlar mushu so'zuq tovushlarni o'lchamdagi o'qishni o'rganib qag'an tovush, cho'ngcha tak yo'q, uzuk tovushlar oson. Shunga men bu ingliz tili ilipasi degan narsada 14 qism chiqarib bo'ldik. Hammasi nihoyat tafsili bor. Demak, mush bir a harfi necha xil o'qilganligining hammasi qanday desanglar boshingda. Ashuni siz tafsili ko'rsanglar vahshiy o'qib ketasizlar. Qaranglar, bari mesela marğan adisi deb o'qiladi mana birinchisi. Ya'ni deb o'qiladigan bor, ya'ni deb o'qiladiganlar bor. Shuni ama mana qarasanglar o'rniga o'ttirdik ismi ORP, oy o'qiladi. Demak bu arrive. Okay? Arrive. Arrive desak bo'lmaydi, oxiri qana qilmaydi, talaffuz qilmaydi. Demak bu nima? Arrive. Endi arrive in and arrive at. Mehar muhim narsa. Bu degan nima? At degan nima? Qaranglar, ha. Endi bu shariki en, yana birisi at. Shunami? Bu ikkisi kelsak hamda ma in degan ko'pincha cho'ng bir o'rinlarning oldiga ishiltildi. Bu cho'ng bir doira. Bu nima degan gap desanglar? Masalan, arrive in. Masalan, arrive in Shanghai. Şanghayga yetib kelmek. Shunami? Endi bu Şanghay desanglar, bu Guilin yo'limi Şanghay, Xalq maydonimi Şanghay, Minhangmi Şanghay, Baoshancho'mi Şanghay. Bu nay cho'ng bir doira. Shunami? Bu shunday cho'ng bir doira bo'lgan ekan hamda. Onun nima? Shu in, shunami? Hamda bu yerga arrive in Hong Kong, arrive in China, arrive in Kashgar. Demek ki bu çoğun bir daire. Şunama? Endi bu yerga at deganimiz ko'rsanglar kichik o'rinliga. Masalan, arrive at the airport. Endi bu airport çoğun bir shaharga nisbatan qanday kichik. Shunama? Shunda bo'lg'achqa, bu yerga arrive at the airport, arrive at the station, arrive at Xinjiang University, arrive at g'oya. Ammo u qanday at deb buni kichik o'qimaymiz. Arrive at, shunami? Arrive at mush o'rinlarni, bir aniq bo'lgan kichik o'rinlarga nima keldi ekan? At keladi ekan. Demak ham demashadiki, arrive at. Endi men nima? Yana birisi the man arrives on the moon. Endi nima? Shu insonlar nega chiqdi? Shu nimaga? Oy shariga qanday qildi? Yetib bordi.